In this lesson, we're going to learn about sequences in Adobe Premiere Pro. Sequences are one of the most important parts of editing because this is where the entire final video is built. If you understand sequences properly, your editing process becomes much easier and much more professional. There are some ways to create a sequence. Simply drag a clip onto the timeline. Premiere will automatically create a sequence that matches the clip settings. Now let's move this sequence into the sequence bin and rename it Bee Farming 1. You can see the sequence name here. A sequence runs from left to right, just like time moves forward. The left side is the beginning of the video, and the right side is the end. When we play the sequence, the playhead reads everything in order, including video tracks, audio tracks, and any effects applied. Now go to Sequence and Sequence Setting. This sequence is automatically created based on the size of the video that we dragged onto the timeline, so the sequence resolution, aspect ratio, and frame rate are all matched to that clip without us needing to set anything manually. This is where we control the technical foundation of our sequence. Whatever settings we choose here will affect the entire video project during editing and exporting. So it's very important to understand what each option means. At the top, we have editing mode. This controls how Premiere processes video internally. If you select a preset like DSLR, AVCHD, or RED, Premiere automatically adjusts settings based on camera type. When editing mode is set to custom, we can configure everything manually, which gives us full control. Under editing mode, we have the time base. This defines the frame rate of the sequence. For example, 24 frames per second for cinematic look, 25 frames per second for PAL or broadcast, 30 frames per second for YouTube and general social content, 60 frames per second for smooth motion or gaming content. In this window, the time base is set to 25 frames per second. Next, we have the frame size field. Here we set the resolution of our video. In this example, 1920 horizontal, 1080 vertical, which is commonly referred to as Full HD or 1080p, with an aspect ratio of 16:9. If you were editing Reels or TikTok, you would use 1080 by 1920, which is vertical. Below that, we have a checkbox, scale motion effects proportionally when changing frame size. This helps maintain consistency if you resize the sequence later. It prevents graphics or animations from stretching incorrectly. Next, we have pixel aspect ratio. For modern digital footage, we always use square pixels, 1.0. Older broadcast or anamorphic footage sometimes uses other values, but for most modern workflows, square pixels is correct. Below that, we have fields. Modern cameras shoot progressive scan, so fields is set to no fields, progressive. Interlaced formats like upper or lower field are used mainly for old broadcast systems. Then we have the display format. This controls how time is displayed in the timeline. Here it's set to 25 frames per second time code, which matches the frame rate of the sequence. Below we move to audio settings. Channel format is set to stereo, which uses two channels, left and right. Sample rate is set to 48,000 Hz, which is the professional standard for video. For comparison, music CDs use 44,100 Hz, but video workflows always prefer 48 kHz. Display format for audio is set to audio samples, which gives frame-accurate editing for sound. Next, we have video previews. This section controls how Premiere renders preview files. Here, the preview file format is set to QuickTime. And the codec is Apple ProRes 422LT, which is a high-quality intermediate codec. This is very useful for smoother playback and color correction. High-performance editing systems often use ProRes or DNxHR for previews. The preview resolution matches the sequence at 1920 by 1080, maximum bit depth and maximum render quality. At the bottom, we have two optional checkboxes. Maximum bit depth is used for high color precision. Maximum render quality improves scaling quality for resized footage. These options can improve quality, but they also increase render time and GPU load. Composite in linear color Below that, we have composite in linear color. This helps produce more accurate blending and transparency results. When applying visual effects and color grading, it also requires GPU acceleration for best performance. Final confirmation. Once everything is set, we click OK to apply the sequence settings. These settings can have a major impact on video quality, color, and performance. Now let's look at method 2 for creating a sequence. Go to File, New, Sequence. Here you can either choose a preset or you can customize the settings if needed. For example, if we want a vertical sequence for social media, we need a resolution of 1080 width times 1920 height. Once you set that, keep everything else as it is. Now we have a vertical sequence. You can also rename the sequence if you want. Just click on the sequence name and enter your preferred name. Now we have a brand new sequence in the timeline. If we drag a video into this sequence, Premiere will show a warning that says, "This clip does not match the sequence settings." This happens because our clip is 1920 by 1080 horizontal, while our sequence is 1080 by 1920 vertical, basically the opposite orientation. Premiere gives us two options: change sequence settings, keep existing settings. Choose keep existing settings because we want to maintain the vertical format. Otherwise, sequence settings will change according to video size. Now you'll see that the video does not fill the sequence frame and it may appear cropped or fitted differently. So we can resize or reposition the video to fit the vertical frame, and I'll show you how to do that later. Method 3 from import screen. Now let's go back to the home screen and create a new project. Make sure to uncheck Skip Import Media, then click Create. Next, select the clip you want and enable Sequence. Please note one important thing. This new sequence will be created inside the new project, not inside the existing project we were working on earlier. So always make sure you are in the correct project before creating sequences this way. Now for method 4, simply drag the video onto this icon right here. Premiere will automatically create a new sequence based on that clip's settings. This is a very fast and accurate method because the sequence will always match the video's resolution, frame rate, and aspect ratio. After that, inside the timeline panel, you can select which sequence you want to work on if you have multiple sequences created in the same project. And we use a custom sequence when presets are not flexible enough, or when we need full control over how the final video is going to look and perform. This is common in professional projects, broadcast environments, social media repurposing, and motion graphics workflows. Custom sequences give us the freedom to design the project exactly to the needs of the platform, the client, or the creative idea. Now that you understand sequences in detail, a sequence is where your video is built. It's the heart of the editing process. Everything you edit, cut, trim, animate, or mix happens inside the sequence. Without a proper sequence, there is no final video.